Hey there guys, it's Salis, and welcome back to Retro Wednesdays. This week, it's back to the Sega Genesis for more of Salis' season of spooky shit. This is Splatterhouse 3. Of all the Splatterhouse games, this is probably my favourite one, because it does a lot of things differently, which I'll hopefully get to explain. But it also adds this. It has easy mode. Although you don't need it on easy mode because this is a completely different style of game. So we'll have it on normal for now. All the other Splatterhouse games had normal as the lowest setting. So let's go for normal. And I will hopefully get to explain some of the things that are a bit different. First of all, there's this. If you wander aimlessly, you will surely fail in your quest. After completing a room, press the start button to reveal a map of the current floor. Yeah, this is what you can do, by the way. The mask talks to you all the time. Gather the power stones and save them for emergencies. The power of these stones can be released with the A button, whence your flesh will expand with a surge of power. Are you sure these are power stones and not just, like, drugs? And here we are, mansion first floor. Now, the first thing you'll notice, this is a bit different because it's more of a traditional brawler along the lines of, say, Streets of Rage. Although Rick does look a lot more badass now. Right, I've completed the room, and this is the map. Because this game has aspirations of being a Metroidvania type thing. So naturally there's only one door we can go through in this room. So let's do that. Jennifer, as always, cowers in hiding, avoiding capture from the monster. So she hasn't been kidnapped yet, which is a positive sign. These are the power stones, by the way. Hopefully I'll be able to show you what they look like. The combat is very, very easy. Right, now I want to go up to that big red splattered X. And the best way to do that is to go up. Which brings me to this room. Full of purple dudes. Yeah, if you can get the first strike in, it stun locks them like you would not believe. Also, the throw is automatic. If you just walk up to them and grab them, Rick will throw them away. So the trick is with this game to always try and get that first hit. Because you want to lay them out flat. Oh great, another room exactly like the other one. The only time you're ever really threatened is like this. When you've got a lot of enemies at once. In the early levels this really isn't so much of a problem because, as you can see, I can just throw them away and they generally tend to stay out of my way. I will show you what the power moves look like eventually, I promise. And yes, you can throw the enemies at their mates, which is fun. Just die again. And there we go, another room cleared. This is just an empty free room. However, it will bring me on to something which is actually kinda neat. In a moment. Oh, new enemy types. Yes, please. Right, just die. I will take my power stones, thank you very, very much. You can pick up health in this by picking up these hearts. That is another thing that's improved from Splatterhouse 2. Splatterhouse 2, you had a finite amount of life and you had to deal with it. Right, now this is what I wanted to bring you on to. The map, which you can bring up after clearing a room, is accurate. And by that I mean, the size representative of the room on the map is the size of the room. So at the moment I'm in this long corridor right at the top of the building. And oh boy, is it a long corridor. I like the fact you get that creepy finger pointing out where you've got to go next. It beats the go arrow anytime. Just that creepy finger. Right, grab the power stone even though I don't need it. I want to know, how does green slime congeal into a skeleton? Or one of these Ravager things. Right, who's up for death? Death to you. Come on, come on. There's my creepy finger, there's my creepy finger. Do you see what I mean now? This is a long corridor and it's represented accurately on the map. But this is the route I always take because it's the most efficient route through the building. You can go pretty much any other way you want because it seems to want to be a Metroidvania style horror game. Which is all well and good. Metroidvania is really good style for a game in this generation, but it doesn't do it as well as, say, Castlevania does or Metroid. And you see what I mean? That was a really long corridor and it played like a really long corridor. But now I get to show you the boss fight. The monster emits a foul smell and moves closer to Jennifer. Are you sure this is a monster and not just a rapist? Okay, apparently something just giggled at me. And that's what we've got to kill. Something that looks like a dinosaur. Right, power move. You literally become the Hulk. A white Hulk. And you can keep this power going as long as you've got some in your power meter. And your power meter drains as you use it, as you can imagine. Which is why it's so vitally important that you gather the power stones. And I always try to save them for boss fights because you need them. Otherwise the boss fights take way too long, and yes, the levels are on a timer. Come here! No, don't kill me. Don't lick me either. This is what happens every time you die. The Terror Mask will revive you as long as you've got a life. But I've lost all my power meter, which is not good. I was going to try and trap him in the corner. Nope, that doesn't work. Just chuck him around a bit. And that's where he dies. Jennifer. Rick. Huh? What's this? Someone's performed amateur surgery. It is a boar worm. The evil one puts them in the bodies of his victims. They devour them from the inside and turn them into mindless monsters. You have to destroy the giant boar worm to stop it. Rick, filled with rage, ascends to the second floor. Like a badass. And now that I've shown you the first stage, I think this is where we're going to be a chance to sum up. So, is Splatterhouse 3 an improvement on Splatterhouse 2? Immensely. It's a little more forgiving, which probably isn't for everyone. But when you consider that the original was a port of the arcade game, you can see why it was so punishingly hard. But it didn't need to be on home console, so adding a bit more forgiveness was a good thing. The ability to do the levels in any direction you wanted is actually kind of cool. You can spend ages exploring an entire level if you really want to, or you can do the smart thing and just head straight for the room you need to go to. Additions like this to give story is really good, because if you're like me and you're a massive lore nerd, you really want to get all the relevant information. Enemy types are immensely varied, even when palette swapped. The throw mechanic is kind of cool, because if you get in too close, it's not an instant game over. And if you're a serious collector, I would recommend picking this game up any day. It's fun as hell. Combat is visceral and enjoyable. This power-up system is fantastic. And say, unlike Streets of Rage, it doesn't drain your health. Or, in the case of the Golden Axe example, it doesn't drain your magic or require you to pick it up. It's just whatever you've got at the time, that's what you got to use. So yes, this has been Splatterhouse 3 on the Sega Genesis. It's been immensely fun to play. And until our next Retro Wednesdays, I've been Salis. This has been Splatterhouse 3. And I will see you next time.